A new report says that the Vatican is set to confirm a Eucharistic miracle where the face of Christ actually appeared on the host. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, I'm Father David Michael Moses. I'm a Catholic priest. If you appreciate the types of videos, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. So this is one of the more unique Eucharistic miracles I've heard about. A few things to keep in mind as we talk about Eucharistic miracles. At every single Mass, something incredible happens. We believe bread and wine actually change into the body and blood of Jesus Christ. It's an incredible act of love from the Lord. And the term we use for that is transubstantiation. Trans meaning changing, and substance meaning what a thing is. So the substance of the thing changes even though the accents, the smell, the taste, those kind of things don't change. Transubstantiation. Now, why would God do this? Well, because he wants to give us his body and his blood in a way that we can receive him. A Eucharistic miracle is saying that not only does transubstantiation occurs, not only does the substance change, but also what it looks and tastes like change as well. In some ways, the veil is pulled back and we can actually see the reality with our senses. This isn't happening all the time. There are actually only 139 documented cases of Eucharistic miracles in the last 2,000 years of church history, but this might be the 140th. So the article says Vatican recognizes Eucharistic miracle in, that's going to be tough for me to say, Vatican, somewhere in India. Official declaration slated for May 31st. This might be why you haven't heard a ton about this, is because they're not going to officially announce it till later. But you know, today, here, we always got the inside scoop for you guys. After more than a decade of investigation, the Vatican has officially recognized the Eucharistic miracle that took place at Christ the King Church in, again, that city, under the Archdiocese of Thessaloniki. The event, which reportedly revealed the face of Christ on the consecrated host during Mass, has been affirmed as a legitimate Eucharistic miracle by the Holy See. Kind of cool that the parish is called Christ the King, and it's the face of Christ that appeared on the host. Archbishop Mar Joseph Pamplani conveyed the Vatican's decision to the faithful during a Holy Mass held at the church. He explained that the Holy See found, I'm just skipping all the hard words, just to be clear. Yes, I am. He explained that the Holy See found the miracle to be one that deepens the faith of the church in the real presence of Christ in the Holy Eucharist, and has thus approved its veneration in accordance with Catholic doctrine. So yes, the reason God allows these Eucharistic miracles is to deepen the faith of the people. The most popular Eucharistic miracle is probably the one of Lanciano, which occurred in the 8th century. There was a priest who was actually in that moment doubting the real presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. And as he pronounced the words of consecration, the host was transformed into flesh. The body took the form of a heart, and the blood actually coagulated into 5 irregularly shaped globules, forming the shape of a heart. In 1970, the miracle was put under scientific scrutiny, and the doctors concluded that the flesh was human heart tissue and the blood was also human, both from the same blood type, AB. You can actually go visit those relics in a Franciscan church. According to the Archbishop, the Vatican has allowed the miraculous host to be honored with the same reverence afforded to the Blessed Sacrament. Someone asked in the comments, if it is the Blessed Sacrament, why do we need to afford it the same veneration as the Blessed Sacrament? Well, I think what they're saying there is that the presence of Christ is happening in the Eucharistic miracle in a real way. Yes, Christ is present in the host after consecration for sure, but also he's now present in the face that has appeared. However, he also reminded the congregation that the mystery of Jesus' presence in the Eucharist is a foundational truth of the Catholic faith, not merely dependent on signs or miraculous occurrences. I love that distinction. It's kind of like when Christ appears to the apostles, Thomas is doubting, and the Lord does give St. Thomas signs. He shows him his hand and his foot and his side and his wounds. But he says, blessed are those who have not seen and believe. So kind of what Bishop is saying here, there is a beauty and a goodness to believing without seeing the sign. But if you are doubting, hey, check out this sign. Here we go. Blessed Carlo Acutis thought that Eucharistic miracles would be a huge help to people in terms of evangelization. A significant event to mark this recognition will take place on Saturday, May 31st, when the Archbishop there and the Apostolic Nuncio from the Vatican, a representative of Pope Francis, will preside over a celebration to officially proclaim the miracle at that time. The miraculous occurrence dates back to November 15th when Father Thomas was celebrating Holy Mass. During the consecration, the face of Jesus reportedly appeared on the host. Following church protocol, the host was transferred to the Archdiocese for safekeeping and observation. Remarkably, the host remained unchanged for over 4 years, after which it was returned to the city for public veneration until 2020. So notice how careful the custody of the host was. There's a whole process for the church approving Eucharistic miracles. It's kind of like canonizing a saint. They take it very, very seriously. At different times in church history, they've done it different ways. But now what you usually have is on the Dawson level, people start to say, hey, we think this might be a miracle. And there's a priest who knows about canon law who kind of goes and looks at stuff. And then the information starts to go through the dicastery of the faith in Rome. And the process kind of looks like this. First, the chain of custody is really important. They want to make sure nobody is tampering with the host. No one's adding something fake to it in some way. So it's really important that that chain of custody is known. And the bishop there has to be involved. He has to believe something unusual happened here. Then they actually put together a scientific panel with experts in different fields to actually run tests. And all those tests have to be in agreement about what happened. That panel must unanimously conclude that nothing was added to the host, that the chain of custody was sound, and that there is no scientific explanation for what happened, that it was miraculous. There's actually a case we covered recently where people were petitioning for a Eucharistic miracle. They thought there was one. They thought the host was bleeding, and the church looked at it, and the church said, hey guys, I'm really sorry. This is mold. This is a kind of bacteria. This isn't a miracle at all. So the church takes those tests very, very seriously. The Syro-Malabar Commission undertook a comprehensive study and determined that the event held strong theological grounds to be considered a Eucharistic miracle. Subsequently, the sacred host was taken to the headquarters of the Syro-Malabar Church and presented to the nuncio for evaluation. So yeah, they followed all of those proper channels. It's kind of cool that Syro-Malabar Church, if you're not familiar, they're one of the Eastern churches that is in union with the Catholic Church. So they believe what we believe, but their liturgy looks a little bit different. We actually have a group of Syro-Malabar Catholics that meet at my parish on Sunday evenings to have Mass. There's about 30 or 40 of them. And I've actually attended those Mass before. Really, really beautiful. Now with the Vatican's official declaration, the faithful of the city and across the Syro-Malabar Church rejoice in the recognition of what they consider a powerful sign of divine mercy and a reaffirmation of the profound mystery of the Eucharist. I think it's significant that it is Christ's face on the host. Most Eucharistic miracles, there's different things that happen. The host bleeds, or there's a multiplication of hosts, that kind of thing. This one seems kind of unique, and I think it's fitting for our times because people need to be reminded first that the Eucharist actually is Jesus, even though it looks like bread, tastes like bread. It is the body of a person, Jesus Christ. And that person wants a relationship with you. The point of the Eucharist is intimacy. The Lord desires intimacy with you. He says, this is my body given for you. And ultimately for us as people, I mean, there's a reason on this thumbnail, we put faces of people for this video because human beings connect with faces. We want to look into the eyes of another person. That's why Jesus tells us to love our neighbor, because people matter to other people. We just got a new pope. He's a person with a face. That matters. That's how we connect. And Jesus, God himself, became a human being with a face to save his people. And this miracle is a beautiful reminder of the reality of the incarnation. That even when you receive the Eucharist, even if you always can't see the face of Christ, that is always the reality. This is about a person who has saved a person and wants to be with that person forever. That's the real beauty of our faith. And lastly, I'll say that is our job as Christians, that when we receive the Eucharist, we take the person of Christ into ourselves, and then it's our job to be his face in the world. Because most people won't see the face of Christ on a host, but they will see your face, and your face has to preach the gospel of love to them. So those are my thoughts. Absolutely love this. Let me know what you guys think. I don't want to speak out of turn. This seems like it's all set to happen, but of course we will wait for the church's official declaration on May 31st. Until then, make sure you guys are going to Mass. Make sure you're receiving the Eucharist at least every week, maybe even every day. It is the greatest gift for us as Catholics. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this video. Other thoughts you might have, things that might be interesting to react to, and we will see you next time. God bless.